Sweet. It's looking like it's working. I'm happy with it. In any case, we'll come right over here. I don't have all the fancy stuff. I got a message one time. Hey, why don't you have the fancy screens? I don't do things like that. In any case, my name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's video, what I'd like to share with you is actually an answer to a question that I've gotten maybe a month ago. I made a video related to the first 90 days of link building for a local campaign. So I had the question, hey, this is great, Chris, but what about 12 months? Or what do we do on a recurring cycle? And the answer will potentially, you'll be stunned by this answer, right? Because it's actually quite simple. And what I've learned over the course of time, and I'd hope to share with you, is the simpler you can make things and the more repeatable you can make things, if it doesn't scale, it's not worth doing. So with that being said, I want to walk through the 12 months of link building. I was thinking to myself to make it into almost a diagram so I could share it. But then I was like, yeah, how about we just go live? We'll see how it works out. I haven't used this live in a while. I have a doctor's appointment coming up here soon, so let's go ahead and do it, right? So here we go. Here, I'm going to go ahead and make this small like this, and we'll go through this. I'll explain the reasons why. We'll go through the different types of links. We'll go over the next 12 months. Really, this is live. I want to make sure it's working. If you're wondering, hey, why are you dogging it? That's the reason why. So let's bring this over here. I'll try to make this as pretty as possible. I'm definitely not a art major, right? This is paint 95, so we'll leave the fancy stuff away, but what I can give you is information that we've been using for many years now. Dozens of clients, tons of success as far as client success. Monetary success, hey, maybe one day, but really the goal is to have local business owners be able to reach goals, more phone calls, more traffic, as cheap and affordable as possible, while walking the line. So that's my measure of success. Hey, if we can get more calls, more traffic, cheaper than the next guy, then hey, we're winning. And that's always the goal for us. With that being said, let's get through this. So I can lay these out and then I'll explain to you what they are and when to use them. Okay. So I can share with you some of these different types. I'll try to make this as quick as possible so I don't waste your time. I think the stream is working pretty good. I actually wrote these out just like this. And maybe we can just go through these. How's that sound to you? All right. And we'll do these section by section. So here's how we'll do it. We'll go like this, copy. This will be month 1 through 3. And this is where I find a lot of clients that I speak to get stuck in this particular rut. I'm not sure if it's due to full retail costs of some of these things, or where they're looking for service. But I find this section here to be the biggest problem, which is why I've covered it 2 or 3 different times. Now, over the course of time, how I do link building and which types of links I utilize are going to change. I also feel that more referral and building a larger brand is more important than it was, say, 5 years ago. But nonetheless, I still feel that there's value here in these types of links. So we're going to talk about building links to the homepage. We'll talk about primary service pages and also supporting content as well. I primarily focus on local, so that's exactly what we're going to cover. So now that I know that this is working properly and I have the initial stuff up, I think we're good to go here, right? Do you think rank and rent works in 2025? Everything works if you spend the time there, Nikhil. But I'm glad to see you in any case. Rank and rent, we do lead generation. You could call it rank and rent. I rank a site, I sell the leads. I just don't like the model. Since you asked, you took the time to ask, I'll give you a solid answer. I don't like the model of dedicating my mental time and resources towards a project getting it to rank in one location for one service, I think that model is dead, right? Like picking a service like plumber or garage doors or windows where there's 1,000,001 competitors, ranking one page in some city that's low competition because it'll rank easy, and then renting out the phone number, it's unrealistic and it doesn't generate dollars. And if you don't believe me, go out to the top performing websites right now and pick a city, a town, an area that you'll rank instantly, and go pull their site into SEMrush and take a look. And you tell me if that traffic and at a good, let's just say they convert 10% of the people that come to the site, which they don't, but let's just say they do. And you tell me if you can run a business off of that. The only way to make that work, in my opinion, doing it that way, is if you had 100 or 1,000 separate sites. We can call it rank and rent. How about have a site with multiple cities, and then we sell leads to numerous people, or better yet, you find a broker and he'll buy all the leads for less cost. Because I don't want to have to manage relationships. I don't want to have to manage the people. I don't want to have to manage the link campaign and the content and the refreshing and my team, let alone the leads and chase down money. Right? So think about that. So that's why I don't like rank and rent and the model that's pitched out in the wild or out in the open. And I see people selling courses on digital real estate. That model's broke. Now, scaling sites and selling leads, I do it all the time. That's my secondary business, quickly becoming my main business. In any case, let's move on to link building. How's that sound? But thank you for your question, kind sir. So let's talk about link building. 12 months link building. We're going to start off with the homepage. Again, my name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. In today's video, I'd like to give you a step-by-step or a 12-month plan, something that's repeatable, something that's scalable, something that you can do that's affordable to help you reach success. Whether it's affordable or not, this is to be determined by you. But in most cases, you can really reach the finish line for far less than you think, as long as you're patient. Google takes time, and I cannot stress this enough. The work you do today, you are not getting paid for months from now, if we're talking about organic search. With that all being said, let's go ahead and get into month 1 through 3. If I miss over any finite detail, maybe I have, but these are the things that popped in my head just moments before for a link campaign. So let's take a look at this together. So right now what we're going to take a look at is the first 1 to 3 months. I'll explain these link types and we'll explain each of these things as we go. Aggregators. So you can go one by one and set up your aggregators. What's an aggregator, Chris? In my opinion, this is going to be any programmatic citation or directory that you can't just go and build. Yes, you go to DataAxle, you submit your listing, that's one. But did you ever notice when you submit that one, you end up getting more citations when you look in SEMrush? I call this programmatic citation or directory link building, right? Aggregators are a winner. GPS.com. Go to DataAxle. You could look up local aggregators by simply going online just like this. What are the local SEO aggregators? Foursquare, DataAxle. You can look them up for yourself here. I think Mont is an aggregator. There's a couple aggregators that you want to go and get. This is essential for your local campaigns. Next, let's move on. I'll try to move quickly. The next one is going to be your general directories. Yes, there is a time and a place for niche-specific and category-specific citation and directory building. There's a place in my heart, right? And this is important. But what's most important at first in months 1 through 3 is we're establishing who we are, what we do, and where we do things. That's first. So if we're just starting out month 1 through 3, what do we point to that homepage? General directories. General directories could be your Montas, your MapQuest, your Foursquares, right? Also in aggregators too, some of these, right? You see this. Gee, I wonder, they're almost the same thing. Yes, exactly. That's exactly the point. So we want to make sure that we're getting our general directories. If you go out to Google, just like I just did to look up the aggregators, you can do the same thing for directories. Get your general directories. Let's go get our business listed. The next thing I want to point out is citations. Wait, aren't these the same thing? No, my friend, they are not. And not all citations and directories are created equal. What separates them is going to be the level of difficulty in order to acquire said directory. What's the level of difficulty, you ask? Well, that level of difficulty is going to be double verification, or you have to have a business email or a phone number in order to double verify. So I either have to have a business email or I have to have a phone number. When you're going to your Fiverrs, your SEO clerks, your Legits, and these places that are boasting $350 for $10, yeah, they're single verification. You submit some Outlook email or just whatever email you want, and poof, you have it. The level of difficulty is low. There's automated systems for doing this. It's called Website Submitter, right? They're not the same thing. Let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is branded plus primary service press releases. In my opinion, there's a difference between a service-focused press release and a brand-focused press release. What's the difference? The difference is the title, the URL, and most importantly, where is that press release pointing to, right? So when we're talking about brand, generally on this first run, I want to talk all about the brand, the founder, who we are, what we do, and where we do things. These are going to link out. Do you ever notice inside of your press release, you get one embed, right? No matter where you go, you'll get an embed. There's at the very bottom, you have your name, address, phone number, description. You know what I'm talking about? I'm not going to show examples of everything. I'm just going to explain. If you don't understand some of these things, I truly apologize. I do have videos where I broke down every single thing. I just want to give you the information. All right, my friends. With that said, when we're talking about press releases, there's regional press releases. You can get distributions, 500 links for like 30 bucks, 40 bucks, 50 bucks. If you buy a bunch, you can get them for 20 bucks a pop, right? You know they're out there. There's tons of them. But then you have your other general distributions where you get bigger links like your APs and your market watches, your business insiders, those types. So what we're talking about here is branded of either type, either regional or a better distribution, all right? But the first links that we want to build out are going to point to the homepage and generally primary service pages. We also want to include some of our primary socials within this first piece. A primary social could be the embed going to my Maps listing. Just using that as an example. That could be considered a social. That could be considered a citation or a directory. It could be the thing that really distinguishes who you are, what you do, and where you're doing things, right? There's a gentleman online. He just started coming back up. Very good guy to listen to. His name's Jordan Pierce, right? And he said one time, nothing establishes a brand better than a GBP. Nothing establishes the entity better. And boy, I can't agree more. Facts. Big facts. So in any case, let's move forward here. Branded press release. Whether it's going to be a cheap one or an expensive one, doesn't matter. It's brand, it's pointing to primary socials, or it's going to point to the homepage. I really drilled in on this because this is important. I want you to look at the first things we talked about. Aggregators, programmatic citations, and directory building. You go build the 5 or the 6 yourself, or you could go pay Bright Local if you want $100 and they'll do it for you. You'll get harassed to build all kinds of other services, but hey, they do a good job. And if you like paying $2 a piece for citations, go ahead. They do a good job on the aggregators. Next thing, general directories. Go build your 100 general directories, or you could come see me, or there's a million vendors out there. Links are a commodity, okay? It doesn't matter who's doing it. There's 1,000,001 people. Moving next, citations. I'm looking for double verified citations. How many? 25 to 30 tops. You know, when you start getting outside of the 10 range, like after you do your Apple Maps, after you do your GMB, after you do your Facebooks, after you're doing your main citation building, you're really starting to get into directory land, to be honest with you. But let's move forward. The next thing I want to set up after our branded press release, citations, directories, and aggregators is going to be our socials. Doesn't matter the consistency of posting. Do you have it? Real brands, whether you're a name or a logo, right? Whether you're a brand name like Chris Palmer or your logo like Gray Hat SEO, doesn't matter. I still need to have a presence online. Why? Because fly-by-night lead generation businesses don't generally take the time. They don't. Some do. Most don't. Get your socials connected in. It's an added benefit if I could have a posting schedule where I'm actually generating referral traffic. That's a double whammy bonus for us. All right, but set up those profiles. Where do we send them? Homepage, because we're on the homepage for the first 3 months. Moving on. Submission of your profile to other search engines. There's at least 50 search engines that I could think of off the top of my head right now. Again, you could go to one of these third-party services, submit your sites. All these search engines work together. All of them. They're all taking data from each other. Go make the submissions. I want to show up everywhere. Dogpile, AOL, Yahoo, Bing, Google. Go submit. Spend one day, right? Take half hour. While you're having your chicken lo mein, submit to the search engines. Easy. Moving on. Next thing is metas. Now, most people will generally look over this, but not you and I, right? Here's what I want you to do next time when you're having your chicken lo mein. I have chicken lo mein on the brain, right? Think about this. Go to some of the top sites, the tops, the dundadas within any space, right? First thing that comes to mind, I'm thinking of like Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, any big site that's just a household name. And what I want you to do is I want you to take that site and put it into another website called Built With. And I want you to look down the list of all the meta, all the other places that they've signed up, whether they have analytics, they have W3, they have different compliances, they have all different type of meta tags other than just verifying within Google. Do I not think that always the goal with SEO is to look like the winner? Why? Because we're winners. So why wouldn't I do the metas too? Submit your sites. Take a look and see what other places, like did they go register with W3? Did they go register on the Web Archive? Did they go register with Wikipedia Commons? Did they register their logo on Wikipedia? Big brands have. So should you. Let's move on. Next one is going to be authority, featured, expert, or slash, I put a slash, expert opinion posts. What is this? Let's say you're in a construction business. A lot of business owners, ladies and gents that I talk to are doing home service stuff, right? So here's one that most people will know about. Let's say this old house. They're selling links over there, right? This is a good link. With that being said, right? This old house creates posts on a bi-daily basis. Now, for $150, $150, $200, if I can go get included in as an expert opinion and get in line with all the other winners that have that link to get in that link graph, that's a great idea. So that's an expert opinion. What about an authority featured post? You're going to pay a primo for a featured post. Let's just say it's this old house, or better yet, we all know about search engine land, right? Search engine land, they'll put ads sponsored, right? It'll say sponsored on it, which hurts my heart, but I think it's what, $2,400, $3,600 for a featured post on search engine land, right? But I get a link. You with me? That's sponsored, but this is the level of feature because we all know it. I'm just trying to give you an example, a visual example. That's a featured post, much easier, cheaper. Get a quality link, but get an expert opinion link. I get the same quality at a quarter of the cost. You with me? And that's what I really like to do. We want to get these authoritative expert opinion links to the homepage and any primary service page. What are we doing here? We're establishing who we are, what we do, and where we do things. And then we are getting into the link graph with the winners. That's exactly what we did right here, month 1 through 3. Cost, real quick, because that's the next question. What kind of budget should I set aside? Let's talk about it real quick here. Let's just say you're a retail buyer, right? Aggregators, $100. And that's going to go get the 6 submissions from one of the most expensive companies I've ever seen, right? The next thing, general directories, 100 of them, $30. Citations, 50 of them, $60. Branded primary press release, anywhere between 25 to 50, or if you're going to get a better distribution, 300 to 500. Next thing, socials and foundation. You could pay somebody $6 per hour to go and set these up. I don't know how many you want. You could probably set them all up within 2 hours. So let's just put 20 bucks on that. Search engine submission. Come on. You can do this. What's your time worth? I don't know, but you could pay the same person that's setting these up for you to set up your search engine submissions. Go submit them. Show up everywhere, right? Just in case Google forgot, there's 80 other search engines out there feeding data, right? It's called aggregators. When you have another spare time, right? When you have some more time, right? All of this takes time. But do this for yourself, right? Look up third party, like go to your favorite tool. I don't know, OpenAI. Go to something that's actually sharing the web, right? Or searching the web. And look up third-party partners that aren't generally broadcasted publicly, that are in association with Alphabet or Google LLC. And go and take a look. What you're going to find is all the companies work together. All of them. Do yourself a favor. So all I'm getting at here is, well, why make Google go find it? They'll find it, but let's just help them find it. All right, moving forward. So this submission, this is time-based. You know, for $100 or less, you should be able to get this done or do it yourself. Okay. See, the next thing is always when we're talking about time, right? Is, hey, you know, I'm a business owner. I don't have time for this, but you have time to get your phone in the ring. It's worth your time to establish who you are, what you do, and where you do things. I don't care if your time's worth $500 an hour. Take the hour. It's worth $500. It's worth $1,000 to establish these things. It's worth $2,000. It's worth $10,000. It's your business. It's worth everything, right? Moving on. 30 featured expert opinions. Wholesale, you're paying $100. Retail is $200 to $500. All right. You're getting these featured posts. I've seen people bang them in the head for these. I've seen some people doing featured posts anywhere between 500. I've seen all the way up to 10 grand. I mean, you could get really ridiculous. The thing with links is because it's a commodity, because you can get them anywhere as long as you look, the price is determined upon what the next person is willing to pay. And that's the truth. Let's move forward here. The next part I want to talk about, I'm going to have to trim this video up. There's way too many. I'm giving too many opinions. I try not to do these things. Well, I guess it's okay. I can give my own opinion. Let's talk about 1 through 3. Now we're going to get to top level pages, or what I call primary service pages. All right. So let's put these in line. Control V, like this. I'm going to make this into like a little post later. So I like to keep things simple though. I'm just going to move this over. So let's talk about this. So the same months, 1 through 3. See, the reason why I wanted to change things is this is what should be done in months 1 through 3, but all of it really should be done in the very first month when you sign up with a company, right? And then what they do is you shove all in, and then you sit and you wait. Now, most companies will take their time with this so they can keep giving deliverables. That's why I'd rather just set the cost, give me the dough, and then I'll give you deliverables back, right? I hate the agency model where this is the stuff that needs to be done. Let me get that $3,000 a month, and then I'm going to take 90 days to do all of this when really it should have been done in the first 30 days, right? And then we start doing the rest of the link building. Agencies will take their time, but these are the things that need to be done rapidly. Be very mindful on this. As soon as you're setting up a campaign, get this stuff done ASAP. All right? This is an investment in your business. All right? Most important. What I want to talk about here is month 1 through 3, but we're looking at primary service pages. What is that? Well, here, I'll point this out to you. All right? If you have your website.com, right? Hopefully you can see this. Website.com/service in some cases, or other businesses will have website.com. It just depends on what Google's rewarding. It'll be service plus location, right? So this is what I'm talking about when we're talking about primary service pages. The pages that you want to rank, yes, these are the pages we're talking about. Generally, it's going to be primary service or service plus location. So here's the structure that it generally looks like right here. And these are the pages that we're talking about right here. See this? Right literally here. This page or this page. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about the link types that we want to send in. All right? Up here, I think we pretty much talked about the amounts and general cost, right? Costs vary wildly, right? But look out into the marketplace. See, what's great about marketplaces, I just want to point this out, all right? And then I'll quit slapping. But what's great about marketplaces is just like, think about eBay or think about Amazon. When everybody's got the same thing and there's 1,000 people, the sellers will say, oh, it's a race to the bottom. But as a consumer, as a buyer, this is the open market. This is what it's worth. So if there's 900 people selling USA Today and this guy's a G, this guy's 300, this guy's 200, this guy's 50, and this guy's 25, but it's all the same, who are you going to go with? Right? Unless I have a rapport with somebody, I'm going to this guy right here with 25 or lady. Doesn't matter. I prefer a lady, actually. Right? They'll probably be nicer to me. Moving forward. Let's take a look at guest posts to primary pages. There's all different flavors of guest post, okay? Your PBN, I don't know if that's considered a bad term nowadays or not, but a website that sells links, I hate to break it to you, that's against the guidelines. It doesn't matter if it's a $500 link or a $10 link. If they sell links, that's against the guidelines. Just so you know, all right? So it doesn't matter the price or how well curated it is or how pretty the site is. If they're flipping a link, you have just broke the guidelines. Just saying, okay? So I get this a lot. Like, oh, I went to this site, you know, it's really nice. It's well curated. It gets a little bit of traffic. Did they sell you a link? Yes. You just broke the guidelines. So with that being said, if we're breaking the guidelines, why do I want to get overcharged while I'm breaking guidelines? We might as well just pay a fair price. All right. So when we're talking about guest posts, flavors of link or quality of link is going to vary. All right. The varying is going to be truly determined upon the actual metrics. Now, when everything with SEO is math. Okay. So when we're looking at a link, if you value traffic, then put a price on that. What I value is link placement. Like, where is it at in the structure? Is it on the home page or is it on the top level page? Is my keyword in the URL? Is the anchor text, can I choose what the anchor text is? Is my anchor text towards the top of the page? Is the surrounding words around my anchor text awesome? Are the outbound links on the site or the page that I am getting a link on, are they relevant to what I actually want to rank for? And if the site is getting traffic, is the traffic relevant for what I want to rank for? Each of these things will make me pay more, right? But truly, the only thing I care about is how close to the root is the link, where's my link placed, and how many referring domains does that link have? And as an added bonus, if I could get some traffic, hooray for me. But that's not what I'm after, all right? So prices will vary anywhere between, I've seen $5, to be honest with you, I've seen $1 a post, all the way up, we're talking about wholesale good prices, all the way up to about 200, somewhere in that range, 2 to 250, right? $1 to 250 for a good guest post, okay? Note, it's on a new page. I don't care if the site's getting traffic. If the link is on a new page and that's a guest post, why am I paying you for traffic? Stupidity. That's the only reason I can think of. And I have been the dumbest over time. So I just don't want you to make the same mistake, all right? I'm not paying for traffic that's going to the homepage for a branded key term. Come on, right? You with me? Moving on. So we're taking a look at guest posts here to the primary service pages, like the example that I just put below. Website.com/Plumber Houston. Plumber Houston is a primary page. Now, the reason why I put stars here is because the amount of links and the anchor text and the velocity is dependent upon the leading competition. What's great about Google is it's a closed system. The secret is right in plain sight. It's right there in front of you. So let's not go against the grain. Let's see what's currently being rewarded. Let's look at the amount and the velocity that's being built, and let's see what the finish line is. Note, I get clients, right? If you're a beginner or you're just starting out, if you're looking at the competition, okay? And they have 500 referring domains. This does not mean to go out and buy 500 links. No. What you want to look at is primary key term. Like you'll look at the anchor text and you'll say, okay, they have 500 links, but 200 of them are directories and Web 2. Another 100 of them are fluff links. There's 50 actual links that have an anchor text that means anything. That's the number, okay? So we're looking at primary pages, guest posts. I want to build or I want to reach what the leading competition has, all right? We're looking at anchor text that actually means something. Generic anchors don't mean anything. If it's branded, primary key term, naked, or a partial, or any variation thereof, that's a good link. If it just says click here, I'm not counting that. Okay, let's move on. So this number, we're definitely going to build 1 to 10 is usually the magic number, but it's wildly dependent on what's there. If I'm in a hyper competitive market, I might build more than 10, but generally 1 to 10 in months 1 through 3. Next thing is going to be niche directories, just like the general directories, all right? When we're looking at niche directories, here's how we find them, okay? We have a client, not just off the shelf or, one-off sales, right? Because we have a store where it's one-off, and then we have clients that we manage. If we're managing a campaign, you're paying me for time and expertise and process. The process is simple. We're taking a look at the leading competition that is in all of your markets. So let's say you want to rank in Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, any other city. We'll look at the 3 to 5 competitors that are ranking in maps, and we'll look at the 3 to 5 competitors that are also ranking in organic. And then what you do is you go right over to Bing and you type in the same exact thing, okay? When you get over to Bing, you type in the same key term, plumber Houston. Go over there and you want to look at the top 5. You pull all these companies into a pile, and then you look them up in SEMrush or Ahrefs, whatever tool you like, and you see, okay, what are the primary citations or directories that these people have? Most notably, which ones are niche specific? My personal favorite is geo-specific. Did they get in the Chamber of Commerce for said city? Are they in some weekly magazine in said city? Is there anything niche or category or geo-specific? Geo-specific citations or directories, or niche-specific geolocation directories or citations, you build those to the internal pages. But wait, Chris, I thought, wait a minute here, malfunction, right? I thought we already built those to the homepage. You did, but you built your generals to the homepage. We're looking for geo-specific and niche-specific to the internal pages. Why? Because I need to look like the winner. And most of the time, the winners that are before you have homepages that are outranking you, right? And on top of that, those homepages have been there for longer than 5 years. So now you're new money, you're a new business trying to run up the ladder, right? Against an older business that's already established, that's already in position, and I'm fighting against our homepage. Well, what does that homepage have that your internal page doesn't, other than age? Niche specific, geo-specific, general, and your main directories and your citations. Build them to the internal pages. Do yourself a favor. It's not that Google's only rewarding the home pages. It's that that page has age and the links to validate that that is who they are, what they do, and where they do it. Just repeat. The secret's right in front of you. All right? You with me? Perfect. Please, if you have questions about any of this, or if I'm not clear, or you want me to explain it in a different way, I'm here for you. I want you to save money and I want you to win. If you can win off the information I give you, great. Tell a friend. All right? Let's move forward. Featured post. And if you have a question, put it in the chat. I'll answer it before I have to go. I got 20 more minutes before I got to go. All right? Featured posts to primary pages. That's right. It's not cheap out here. It costs money. I'm the most frugal guy maybe in America. Definitely in Tamaqua, Pennsylvania. Okay? I hate spending money unless I have to. The name of the game is get into the link graph. More so than it used to be. It used to be I'd go buy 100 guest posts at a buck a pop off Blackout World and fire it into the primary service page. That doesn't work anymore. You have to have a higher referring domain count, and AKA a higher quality link. Quality is not design or the amount of traffic that other pages get. No. I need high referring domain counts that are in the same category. What's category? Here. I'll do this with you real fast because this is important. I can't stress this enough. All right. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Now you're getting into the client stuff here. Here, take a look at this. I can't show you this one, but I can show you this. So take a look at this. Come over here. Come here. I'll show you this. This is so important. It's so important. I can't stress this enough to you, friend. Right? See this category? This is the category. I want to note that SEMrush, Majestic, Moz, these companies didn't magically come up with this. Oh no, friends. Who came up with it was Google. And I don't know who came up with it before then. But did you ever know that, think of this. You know when you create a site and you're doing AdSense? AdSense? Yeah. And you're selling your traffic for pennies? Well, did you ever notice that financial sites get more than mommy blogs? Why? Because of the category. Google set the category of site, aka also link graph. Did you ever notice that the winners that are at the top, no matter what niche, pull their backlink profile in? I guarantee you, I bet you 25 cents. Go and take a look at the winner. Come on over here and look at category of site. See these top 5 categories right here? These are the categories that move the needle. So back to our listing. This is what category is. Google has set category of site. The category of site is what dictates the link graph. You have to buy your way into the link graph. Period. End of statement. How do we do it? Citations, directories, guest posts, niche edits, featured posts, no follow comments. It doesn't matter. That's the goal. All right? Come on over here. Come back over here with me now. Now that you understand category and how to look at it and how they classify it, you figure out what categories are being rewarded in your markets and your niches. And when you're buying or spending real money, we're not talking about citations and directories here, but if you're buying featured posts, guest posts, or expert opinion links, I need them to be category specific. One of the 5 categories that's being rewarded, like I just showed you. You with me? Perfect. So with that being said, when we come over here, featured posts to primary pages. Featured posts could also mean expert opinion. I talked to some companies, I would never think it would have the money to go buy $1,000 a link, right? Top of market. Those guys can go see Diggity. But you can still get into the same link graph at 150 to 200 bucks a piece, okay? Link graph's the link graph. What's being rewarded is what's being rewarded. It doesn't matter if you pay more or you pay less, all right? Price does not dictate performance. I can't stress this enough to you. You need to know what you're looking at. Price doesn't determine this for me, okay? Let's move forward. Next thing I want to take a look at here is authority no follow. I know. But wait, Chris. I thought no follow links don't have any value. Well, I find this to be wildly funny. It's borderline laughable to think that if a business owner, say myself, if I put your website on my site and I use a webmaster's directive, that's all no follow and follow is the webmaster saying, hey, I don't trust this link. Do you think Google cares what you say? No. They'll even crawl in index pages that you say no index on. So why would they follow a follow, no follow? If Google crawls a link, they are putting it into the index. If that link is, or that site or whatever it is valuable, you will get credit. Period. Okay. Now, do you think that, as a side note here, another reason why no follow links are highly valuable is I want you to go take a look at any big website, big winners, right? Big sites. Here's one that we both know. Neil Patel's site, right? What's it? Uber something, right? Go look at his no follow ratio. Do you think he has 99.9% follow links? Heck no. Better yet, how about Brian Dean's thing? I think SEMrush bought it. You think his whole site's all do follows? Not a chance, right? There needs to be a good diversity, but it's not about the diversity or a certain percentage or any of this junk. It's about getting good quality category specific links. And I don't care if they're follow or no follow. What's great though, is no follows are cheaper, right? I could get into the link graph faster by getting no follow comments. I'm just saying, moving forward. So this is going to be month 1 through 3. We spent some money here. You know, we've probably spent somewhere between $2 to $5 grand to accomplish this goal here, right? Depending on how many services and service areas you go. Also, I want to point this out, because let's just say you're firing in 1 to 5 links to each service page, but you're like, Chris, I target 20 different cities and I have 5 services. That's hundreds of links. You are correct. But I can't build all those in 1 to 3 months. Yes, you can. Google ranks pages, not sites. All right? So, you know, I'm not saying that you should go do this, but let's just say once upon a time, right? A story about how Chris Palmer was trying to rank in a market. All right? I can't give up the site. So, but let's just say we were building thousands at a time, referring domains, thousands. Like, so rapidly, it was mind-blowing. And as we kept building, we kept ranking. But what we learned was you don't build 1,000 to one page, you diversify across the site. But this was a lesson well taken. And that lesson is if you need hundreds of links to reach the finish line, right? You're looking at your leading competition. Let's say you're a plumber in Houston. You're looking at the winners. Most winners in local markets have 1,000 referring domains, right? You could build that 1,000 in one shot, but you need to diversify those pages, all right? And you better be category specific, okay? Let's move on. So this is where I really got the question at, but I wanted to cover it all. And I hope I'm giving you enough information. I'll see if everything's on the up and up here. Give me 1 second. Let's see here. No other questions? Excellent. Great. Let's keep moving on. I know it's early. I never come on this early or do it this way, but, you know, I was in a good mood today, and I have to go. Oh, we're still making good time. So let's move on to the next element that I need to cover. And I'll try to chop this up, or if I don't like the way it flows when I watch it later, I won't watch it all, but I'll cut through the scenes. If I don't like how it's broken down, I'll make a new video and I'll just be more precise. But this is a live stream, so I was hoping to get some questions. So put them in. All right. So let's talk about 3 through 9. All right. Now, many people, there's more ways to win than one. And this is not the end all be all. And there's more than one way to win. I assure you of that. So I want you to come over here and take a look at this. Right? So let's put this inside of here, and we're going to talk about 3 through 9. So now that we are past the initial months, all right, we're looking at 12 months of time. In 12 months of time, what links do we build? And this is where I see a lot of people getting stuck and a lot of people getting taken advantage of, to be quite frank, right? People spending thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to see no noticeable effect. And the reason is because the links are not the primary mover. The content is, right? I want you to think about this really quick. What's harder? Creating a decent piece of content and doing keyword gap analysis and watching that piece rank for key terms and then retuning it for those key terms. Re-optimizing, re-releasing, retuning, refreshing. What costs more and which one takes more time and which one's harder? Creating good quality content and refreshing it and re-optimizing it, or taking money and sending it to a vendor so they can fire links in? It's not even a question. Not only is the content take more time, but at the end of the day, it actually costs more money. So it's attacking the 2 most valuable resources that any business or human being has: time and dollars, right? Or whatever currency you value, right? The content is king, right? Now, Google can't read, but they understand math very, very well. And they understand entity usage, primary keyword usage, density within the content. And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. Just go take a look at the winners. Do you think that it's a coincidence that top performers are within the same average of word count? Do you think it's a coincidence that the top performers have the same average of heading usage? Do you think these things are a coincidence? Do you think that it's a coincidence that the top performers, if all other things are equal, that the person with the highest entity diversity and entity density is the winner? No, not a coincidence. Simply not. If all other factors are met, it's not a coincidence that he who says it or she who says it the most and the most different ways wins. It's not a coincidence. All right? Enough about that. But what we're really focused on here is getting the power to the supporting content. I used to just go out there and try to run those service pages through the roof. And that's still the game. But I want to pay very, very close attention to supporting content and focusing and honing in on value supporting content. The content that is actually getting traction for the terms that I want and I want to win, but it's answering the questions about high commercial intent. Very, very important. Pay close attention to this part. So let's take a look at this. When we're taking a look at supporting content, any of it, what I'm looking for is informational type links that I can fire in at a cheap cost, because remember, we're refreshing and oftentimes pruning informational content that has no value. So if I'm going to dump links, or if I'm going to spend money on links, now I might have to cut that page. I don't want to lose a bunch of bread, a bunch of dollars, right? So let's take a look at this. What I like is edu and gov to supporting content. There's more than one way to win, all right? This is what I like. This is what I recommend. So when we're taking a look at our supporting content, what is supporting content most notably? Let me show this to you. Supporting content is this. So let's just say you have a website.com and you're a truck accident lawyer. Okay? Now, depending on what Google is rewarding will determine my structure. But when I'm building out supporting, it's going to support the main idea. So how you support a main idea most of the time is, well, we'll put it into the perma structure, right? Or into the parameter. So we want to do it this way. What is a truck accident lawyer? I'm just using this as an example. Usually it's how much do they cost? What do they do? When should you hire one? What's an average payout? What's a settlement cost? You know, and practice areas are pretty much the same. How much does it cost? How much will I get back? These types of things, right? But this is supporting content. It supports the main idea. Here's another note for you real quick here. How we like to do it is very, very simple. All right, we're trying a new method that I'll share with you really quickly, but here's what you'll do. Come over here to organic research or whatever tool you're using. I like SEMrush, and am I paid to say that? No, I'm not paid to say that. I wish. SEMrush, come see me. No, I just like SEMrush. You come inside of here, and what you'll do is you'll do this. So you'll type in organic research, my mistake. Come down here to the magic tool. Put in your primary keyword, right? There's lots of these. Gee, I wonder what Chris does in his spare time. Anyway, let's just say it's We Buy Houses. Better yet, right? Gee, I wonder what niche Chris is in. That's funny. Anyway, we'll come down this list here, and I want to point something out to you. We're executing on this, and it's looking very fruitful, so I'd love to share it with you right now. But this is your supporting content, but I want you to take a look at something. You come to your questions, and you look at your hows, right? So Control F, H-O-W. So let's just say that your primary term is We Buy Houses. Let's take a look at all the hows. Wouldn't you know that I can answer almost all of the hows within one page? What do you mean, Chris? Well, let's just say that the biggest term here is actually going to be this one, how to sell a house. And all of the how terms, all of the questions related to the primary, I can answer within the same page without getting off topic or having to create another page. Who would have thought, right? So what I'm getting at here is I can have one cornerstone piece of content to answer all of the hows, but not just how. We don't just create one. Oh no. We also want to do all of the how about who. Look at this. There's 16 questions I can answer in one who page. How about when? 2. Those might be valuable. How about where? My personal favorite, can. You get the picture. Who, what, when, why, where, how, can, and a best of list. Easy, right? All the hows, all the cans, all the whens, all the wheres, put those into a page. This is your supporting. When you put all of these terms, these longer terms that have a keyword volume, those go in the header tags, and then you explain, right? When you're watching that piece of content as it takes off, you're doing what is called keyword gap analysis. An easy way to do this is you take a look at the page inside of Search Console and you look at keyword position and you look at impressions. It's ranking 23, but it's getting 1,000 impressions. I wonder which term we should put on the page more. The traffic that Google is sending you or potentially sending you is what Google thinks your site's about. Why go against the grain? Give them more of what they want to see. Simple. Just keep tuning the page, okay? Now, when you're doing this, we like to fire in links that are going to support the main idea. I know we're a personal injury, but wouldn't you know when you're taking a look at any top level, watch. I'll show an example, okay? Who's the king out here in the injury space? For the people? Okay, we all agree. So let's take a look. Come over here, watch. How much do you want to bet? Come in here, how about for the people? I don't know who this is. This is just an example. All right, it's not my site. It's just an example. This is for educational purposes only. Don't sue me. Come over here. All right, take a look at this. Come on down the list. Look it. So these are the categories. This is what's called the link graph. Just another way of looking at things. So you take a look down here. Look at this. Info, online, advertising, mass media, legal. Let's take a look at more. Scroll down the list at the tops. 150 referring domains that are educational. But wouldn't you know that schools, EDUs, and .govs are either going to be educational, government, or information or technology services, right? So what's cheap, fast, easy that'll get me into the link graph? Ding, 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 ding. EDUs, right? I'll go build 150 of them babies. You think that's a coincidence that there's 150? I wonder what Chris sells. 150? Gee, I wonder where I got the list from. Anyway, moving on. Guest posting to value supporting. That's right, guest posts. Now, remember when we talked about the cost of guest posts? If you're getting full retail at some of your favorite vendors out there paying $200 a pop for these things, this strategy is not for you. Now, if you have a good vendor and you're getting links at an affordable cost, especially pointing to supporting content, just trying to boost the amount of keywords that your piece of supporting content ranks for, bringing me potential traffic that converts less, but it's traffic to support the main idea. Traffic coming to your site is what your site's about. The more traffic I can get, the more authoritative position my overall site is. With me? So that's why it's valuable to actually promote the supporting. But we're not creating pieces of content about every flipping thing. No. Who, what, when, why, where, how, and can for the terms that are actually getting traffic. And you create 7 supporting pieces of content per primary service. That's it. Evergreen pieces of content, not geo-specific. You'll only cannibalize yourself. Like, we don't put who needs a personal injury lawyer, Texas. No. Who needs a personal injury lawyer? You with me? All right. So when I'm taking a look after the EDUs, I like firing in guest posts. Now, these guest posts are going to support the variations of terms that the supporting content's about. Simple, right? So if you're paying $1 to $5, $10 a unit, you fire them into your supporting pieces of content. And we like to do this at months 3 through 9. Because 3 through 9, once we've set up the website, we have design, we have primary service, we have our supporting, the service pages are starting to rank. Great. We've already done a realignment or a refreshing of the content. Now we're starting to fire in links. Easy. Moving on to the next. Featured posts to primary services. That's right. Remember 1 through 3? Remember when we had either featured post or expert opinions or outreach links? Your higher quality type link. That's what we like to build in. Not a bunch, 1 or 2. And this is dependent upon the blueprint left forth by our leading competition. If leading competition, when looking at their backlink profile, has 50 referring domains pointing to their internal page, but when I do an analysis, out of that 50, only 10 are winners, well, there's the blueprint for success. I need 10 winners to match and mirror what the winning competition has. So what am I going to do? Our goal is 20. Right? We're not going to do them all at once, but as months pass on, each month, whatever I can afford. Because there's more than one service and more than one location, right? I can't do it all at once because why? Because time and budget matters. So I can't just fire them all in, but I could do 2 a month, 3 a month, whatever your budget allows, whatever time constraint allows, right? So be realistic here. So I like to do the featured or the expert opinions, 1 or 2 to the supporting content, because it's not like I have 9 million pieces. Next, we're taking a look at featured supporting to value supporting. So featured posts to value supporting. Again, pruning off the who, what, when, why, where, how supporting content that's not getting any traction. If it's dead wood, it's diluting my website. It's out of here. If I refresh it, spend money and time and resource creating it and refreshing it, and it's not getting traction, it's out of here. Hurts my heart too, but you got to let it go. It's like a leech, a parasite, just sucking your lifeblood off of your website. Kind of like, when you're creating your content and you'll use your competition's name within your supporting content, when you do a best of list and you use your competition's name, why are we doing this? I'm doing this to target the most important key term of a business, which is their name. In local business, the top keyword that your competition ranks for is their name. So if traffic is the lifeblood of your website and I'm targeting your competition's name and I'm taking traffic away, what am I doing to the competition? You with me? So let's move forward here. Social linking includes GBP. This is very, very important in months 3 through 9. You know how in months 1 through 3, you know how you set up all your socials? Remember that? Set them all up, right? And then you go sign up for Make, or you sign up for Buffer, or any flipping tool. It doesn't matter. One that you can afford, that you can actually use, that you can actually set up or have someone manage for you. That's the tool that you use, right? It doesn't matter. They all do the same thing. Some of them are cooler than others, though, I must admit. But something that you can actually use, that you could set up, that I can schedule posts to all social media. When I am scheduling a post and it's linking to my supporting and linking to my service pages, what am I creating? I'm creating hyperlinks. When a hyperlink is created, what does Google do? They crawl. When Google crawls, what do they do next? Index. When my site gets recrawled and reindexed, what am I? Top of mind. When I'm top of mind, what? I have a higher probability of ranking more and getting seen more, correct? That's right. I'm trying to stay in the forward-facing index more often. I'm staying top of mind to Google. That's the point of it, right? So that's why we like social linking, including GBP posts, to primary service and supporting content on months 3 through 9. We're consistently posting. I don't care if you're getting traffic. I don't care if there's only one person. Are you staying consistent? Authority and trust and expertise, experts that are authorities and trusted, are consistent, right? Think of these brands. Chick-fil-A, how old are they? 40 years old? McDonald's, how long have they been around? 30 years, right? Think of huge brands. We're talking of years of consistency. That's what we're trying to achieve here, all right? So social linking, stay consistent. It doesn't matter if you get traction. If you get traction, awesome. It's the consistency, staying top of mind to Google. I create a hyperlink, Google's going to come and see it, all right? Moving forward. Authority redirects. Sometimes you have to take a shortcut. What you can also call this is acquisition link building. And here's what I mean by this. Buying $200 links can get expensive. Buying $1,000 links gets expensive. If I can acquire a site that has the same category links and it's never dropped, and it's a business going out of business, and they have links, and I could get that site for $500, $1,000 or $2,000, and I could scoop that and 301 it to an internal page, that's exactly what I'm going to do. All right? We call this authority redirects. The next thing I really like is more no follow and guest post tiering. Here's what I mean. So, when you've established, here, let me show you something here. When you've gone out on the web, so here you have your site, right? And then from your site, here's what you've done. Let's just say this is a primary service page, okay? So on this primary service page, what you've done here is you've created your guest post, guest post, guest post. Now remember, we just talked about this. When I point hyperlinks or I point links to links, what happens? Google crawls, re-indexes, I'm staying top of mind. The problem with links is not the initial build or the initial value. It's keeping them valuable in Google's eyes, right? So the way to keep your links from decaying, I think Ted Kabitis calls it the best. He calls it link decay. One of the ways that I have found to combat link decay is by building or tiering your links. Now, when you're tiering your links or I'm link building to links, I don't want to spend as much or anywhere near the same amount that I did to acquire said link, correct? So when we take a look at this, guest post tiering and no follow tiering, what I'm talking about primarily is this. We are building to our guest posts that we paid $200 a piece for, our expert opinions, our this old house type links. And what we're doing is we're taking links such as, let's just say 1,000 comments, no follow, that are cat specific, and we're firing it to the PBN, or firing it to the guest post, or firing it to the expert opinion post. Why? So that link stays top of mind. That link stays in the index. That link is still valued, and when you do a search, it's in the forward-facing index, aka the SERPs. All right? And that's the point here. Staying top of mind. Most notably, when I spend $200 a link, I want value for that link a year later. I don't want to have to go back and rebuild it. You will on some. But that's the goal of tiering. Staying top of mind. And you don't do it from the very beginning, and you don't get too out of whack with this. You want to get or acquire lists of PBN links or guest post links for tiering, or no follow lists or follow lists of comments that are in the same categories that you want to rank for. All right? You can't build tens of thousands of links that are all different categories. It's going to hurt your overall performance. Okay? Moving on. Next thing is cycled press releases. I get a question about this a lot. See, this is month 3 through 9. There's a lot going on. But really all we're doing is building links to our pages, building links to our supporting, and then building links to our links. That's all we talked about so far, really. It sounds like a lot, but it's really not. So here's what I mean by cycling your press releases. Remember when we were talking about months 1 through 3 over here? And I mentioned to you, hey, in my opinion, there's 2 different levels of press release. And those levels are simple. You have regional, and then you have your general or higher quality distributions. The difference is this right here is $50, and this right here is $300. That's the difference. And the differences between those costs are not only the writing and the level of writing, but also the distribution, what sites it shows up on, and what values, why is this one more valuable than this one other than the writing, and the links are still the same, is that you have a higher probability of these staying top of mind in the index than you do over here. Also with press releases, links do what is called purging. They purge their networks. Remember, there's thousands of businesses, tens of thousands, millions maybe. Dude, these sites post hundreds of times a day, right? Like they'll sell as many as they can. Well, do you know how many pages that is? So depending on the site, every 90 days, every 6 months, every 12 months, they purge their sites, right? They kill or get rid of the dead wood. You with me? So back to the example or what we're talking about, cycling press releases. So here's what I mean. So if we know that a press release has what is called a purge date every 90 days, I know I'm going to lose the equity of that link every 90 days, plus there's link decay. In knowing this, then that would mean within a 12-month cycle, and I've already acquired these links on other pages. So that would mean in a 12-month cycle, right? If I have, let's just say, for instance, let's just say that I have 3 different services, and these services have 1, 2, 3 locations, okay? This right here, service and 3 locations, is one of the cycles. You with me? What do you mean by this, Chris? Well, when I have a press release, think about a press release. What's in it? Well, down here in the very bottom, the left hand or right hand, depending on the site, you have your name, address, phone number, description, and a link going to the homepage, right? And then within the article, you'll have what is called an embed, 1 link. Then you'll have either 1, 2, or 3 outbound links, right? So you have an embed, 3 outbounds, and then a homepage, correct? Well, this press release is one cycle. Does that make sense? Right? So what I'm looking to do is I'm looking to get one press release where I can link to all, this is service. Let's say it's personal injury lawyer, New York City, Manhattan, Bronx, we'll say, right? So this is hyper relevant, talking about one service, one brand, but I'm maximizing the outbound link usage to power up my whole silo, talking about one service in one location in one area. That's one link. My goal is to cycle through all my services and get that whole press release to every service page that I have. And that's a cycle. In a 12-month time, I'll have whatever the distribution is, 500 links in a press release distribution pointing to every service page that I have. You with me? I'm cycling through the press. That's it. And that's what I mean by cycling press releases. You're cycling. And the stacking of press releases is only good for the guy that's selling them or lady that's selling them. Stop it. Stop it. There's not enough value. I need to get the direct power from the PR directly to the pages that matter. And if you're worried about getting too many, or again, if you're paying a full premium, it's hard to do this part of the strategy. But I think, in my opinion, if all else fails, if you have 3 services, then within a 12-month time, I should be able to get one press release pointing to each primary service. And then why not hit the service location pages within that press release? Within this 3 to 9 month period, I want to cycle through. And that's the goal. I spend a lot of time on that because that's an important part. Keeps you top of mind. All right. So we'll move forward from this. And we will move to the next section. All right. Here we can get rid of this. Now, I think we talked and covered everything. So month 1 through 3. We then covered month, and we talked about the homepage and primary service pages. Then months 3 through 9, I'm looking to power up the supporting content with EDU, govs, guest posts, and featured posts. On top of that, I have my social linking going. If I can do any acquisition or redirect link building to primary pages or supporting content, that's what we'll do. And then as far as no follow and or guest post tiering, again, if I've acquired in month 1 through 3, or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 or month 9, if I've acquired a decent link, I want to tier those links out. And we're doing this in months 3 through 9, and then we're cycling through our press releases, right? Very, very simple. Like, so simple. It seems like a lot, but it's really not. It's not at all. And the amounts are determined based upon the leading competition, right? People get hung up on amounts and percentages. Percentages are out the door, right? The amounts, the secret's right in front of you. Who's the winner? What do they have? There's your blueprint. And the next year, I want to reach them. If you have enough guts or if you have enough budget, do it all. If you're in a hyper-competitive market, use some common sense, right? If they have 10,000 referrings and you have an unlimited budget, take your time. Because page age is the factor that no one talks about. That is the #1 most important factor. The age of that page is wildly important. All right. The last thing I want to talk about, the last section of this, and then I'm out of here. I'll answer your questions. It's going to be months 9 through 12. All right. Months 9 through 12 are the best, right? And here is months 9 through 12 right here. Oh, and they're in red. Great. I like that. Not any color but red, right? So we're going to go ahead and talk about 9 through 12 right now. And I call this the refresh months. Okay. Budgets are starting to dwindle, right? Ad spends are creeping down. Your competition is hunkering in, counting yesterday's money. And while they're doing that, this is the time for you to flourish, right? Very, very important. This is a crucial, pivotal moment for you. When everyone else is resting and counting up their money from the year, this is the time you come in there and do work when everybody's laying down. Okay? Very, very important here. So here's what we want to do. Remember how we talked about link decay? And we also talked about tiering and the importance of staying top of mind to Google. Very important. So what we want to do is we want to take a look over the last year. We want to take a look at our directories. We're going to do a site colon search for our name. Not a site colon search, my mistake. We're going to do a quotation search for our name, an all in title for our name, an all in text for our name. Any way you want, using search advanced operators or tools or whatever. The reason why I don't like tools is that means that there has to be a programming inside of that tool to look for everything. I want to know what Google says. I want to know what Bing says. I want to know what AOL says. I want to know what Yahoo says. Like, look around. What directories at month 10, at month 11, at month 12, before the new year starts, what directories are in the forward-facing index? Great. Which directories do I need to go back in and refresh? Refresh your directories. Next, let's pay our new money or go back and resubmit to our local aggregators. There's 6 or 7 of them. There's actually 20 of them. There's 20 aggregators. Again, do yourself a favor. Go to your favorite, go to Grok, go to OpenAI, go to any model you want that actually searches the web and isn't hiding information, right? The new experimental ones are great. Go to OpenRouter, find an experimental one that you never heard of that has a huge parameter base and start asking questions, okay? With that being said, look up the aggregators, run through that list. Make sure that you stay updated there. Next is update and clean your socials. Now you have a bunch of dead wood sitting on their server, right? You have all those posts from earlier that year that got no interaction. All those posts on all those platforms that had no interaction, burying all your new stuff, showing up, stuff that just, who knows, maybe your thought process has changed. Maybe your strategies have changed. Maybe what you want to talk about has changed. Maybe you got a new CEO. I don't know. But clean up your socials, all right? Next thing is update your podcast. I put podcast in here because that goes into socials. I may not have mentioned it, but when I'm talking about updating your podcast, that could also mean your app links, your extension links, your plugin links. And you're probably thinking, but Chris, I don't have an app. I don't have a plugin. I don't have extensions. I don't have custom themes. No. Look in top markets. Like, let's take, for instance, personal injury. How much do you want to bet? I'll bet the house. A small house, not this house, another house. All right. I bet the farm. I don't have a farm, so I could bet it, right? But top performers have links that are relatively hard to acquire. When you start taking a look, you'll see they have apps, they have extensions, they have very unique branded link types. Get in line. Podcasts, they have video, they have tons of referral outlets pointing to them, screaming, I'm an authority, I have what that guy doesn't or that person doesn't. You're going to have it too, though. Take a look around, update your podcasts, get an app. You could, dude, it's $200. Go buy it. Pay for it. Get those links, all right? Next thing is update your PRs. We talked about purging, right? So we did our month 1 through 3. We did our 3 through 9. We've cycled through. Well, we're at the start of the cycle again. We're going to restart our cycle. That's what I mean by update your press release. We're starting the cycle back over again. The news cycle. Hey, we're still important. Brrr, cycle through. Next, update your guest posts. Updating could be tiering or like this. Here, come on over here. See how you're always losing links? Well, over the last year, what'd you lose? What needs to be replenished? What needs to be replaced? What needs to be tiered? What good links stayed? What other links fell? What needs to be replaced, replenished? What's decaying in value? If you have a good post, but it's from 6 years ago, and you do a search and it's ranking number 79, it's on its way out. It's time to replace and replenish. Okay? This is called updating. It's the end of the year. Update. Your competition isn't. Trust me. Let's move forward. They're still sitting looking at their number thinking, oh man, I got the most, I'm the best. They don't know about decay. They don't know that it needs to be tiered. They don't know it needs to be replaced, but you do. Very, very important. All right, moving down the list here. Please ask any questions because I'm on my way out of here. I have a doctor's appointment I have to go to. I should have left about 10 minutes ago, but that's okay. I'm here for you. This is important stuff, right? It can be. It might not be for you right now, but it will be. It's very, very important. Update your metas. Remember in the very beginning of our conversation, I think we've been talking for almost an hour here. I said, hey, go to Built With and start pulling in big sites. Go and take a look at what analytics they're plugged into. Like, even if they're not running ads, they have every single social platform's meta verification on their site. Could this be a coincidence? Could this just be correlation? Could this be a way to look like a winner? I don't know, but get them on the page. The winners have them. Moving on, let's take a look at updating your search submissions. If your brand is not showing up across the web, make sure that it does. 9 through 12 is just updating, replenishing, and replacing. You're doing more of what you did in the beginning months, and you're starting the cycle back over. All right? With that being said, I'll answer any questions that you may have. If not, it's been an absolute pleasure. I just got Dan Balzerian's book, so on my drive to the doctor, I'm going to listen to it. Hopefully it's good. I don't know. It was recommended to me. We're going to see. I'll let you know next time. But we're going to come over here, and we're going to take a little peek here, see if there's anybody that has any questions. Here we go. Good morning, Chris. Good morning to you, kind sir. Peyton. Nakai is asking about... Okay, Christopher says, how do you evaluate different link providers and marketplaces? By buying links. I have numerous names, just like link vendors will do to me. Other providers will do to me. Some of them come back with glowing reports. Some of them are nefarious. I had an incident with a gentleman testing map services. We kicked them out and they still gave us a negative report. We don't do that kind of stuff. Right? Like if we test it, we keep it to ourselves. The real reason why I like to see, we'll go and buy at certain price points. Or if I work with clients that I know I've worked with top vendors, I can see what the market has been programmed on. And what I mean by this is if you've been going to, I won't say any names, but if you've been going to X vendor, a well-known vendor, and you're used to getting this quality of link for 200, when I come with the same thing, if you know what you're looking at, for a 10th, I want you to be able to distinguish the difference. So that's why I like to go and buy. We test out all the time, like all the time. Research and development is part of my budget. I write it off. Like it's part of my business, right? I'm always looking to see. And if I'm not, then I have clients. I've been gracious enough by God to be blessed with enough clients to have a good, vast look at other companies that have been working with bigger companies so I can see what they've been getting. Right? Like I've seen what big companies use. And I assure you it's not far. Like, yeah, they're able to acquire some of the better stuff if you got a big budget. But when we're talking about local businesses, it's all the same. So be mindful. But I just go and I buy. Two there for a while there when I was looking to bring people in-house to work for Chris Palmer Marketing, I was going to all of the platforms. We were buying from, if I showed you one like Fiverr or SEO Clerk or any of these places, like our bills from like 3 years ago, like we were testing everybody, like everybody. And once we found good quality products that were turnaround time was fast, we would make more orders. If the orders were clean and good, what we would do is we would give them a big order. After that, if they were really good, that's how we acquired a lot of our teammates, right? Like, okay, you work with us. We'll sign them up, give them a little sign-on bonus, and off to the races. But you spend money. That's how we do it. Just like playing poker. I'm not sure the analogy that's best for you, but that's how we do it, Chris. Got to spend money. Takes dollars to make dollars, and plus it's a write-off. It's marketing. It's marketing or research and development. All right? It's well worth your money. Next is More Than SEO. More Than SEO says, if we decide to copy paste a 5-star Google review as a quote on a specific page on a client's site, that I know to include the link back to the review URL? Should we link build to the review URL? Thank you. Wow, hyper specific question. I don't think you should be link building. I think you should be embedding your reviews utilizing the API URL. That way I get not only a benefit, but also I'm actually following the newest guidelines that Google wants. When you're in your GBP, what is it telling you to do? It's telling you to embed your maps and embed your reviews, right? Now, do I think there's a reason for that? I do. I think they're collecting data. And do I like this? No. But if you want it, then we're going to give it to you. And that's what we do. All right. So do I think it's a good idea to link to it? Sure. But we prefer to embed. All right. But completely up to you, my friend. Just a matter of URL. This URL is, if you're using the review share link, that's dynamic. Right? That's tied back to the originating IP. I need a static URL that is going to be static. All right. So there's that. Moving down the list, Peyton Jones. Good morning, Chris. Good morning to you, sir. Tier 201. Tier 201. Over 3 months, how many press releases are you doing? Never mind. I just looked up and read that Google doesn't take information from other search engines, so it is worth time to have them linked on all other search engines. I just looked up and read that Google doesn't take information from other search engines. So is it worth time to have them linked on all other search engines? Tier 201. Rule number 1 of SEO. Never, ever, ever listen to Google. No, I'm kidding. What I would highly recommend that you do, all right? Let's just test, all right? Just for fun. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to create a page on your site, and I want you to take that page, okay? And I want you to go to each of the search engines. Don't submit it to Google. Just launch a page and just let it sit there. And then here's what you do. You do a site : search on all the other search engines. Or do it, or better yet, just search for that URL on the other search engines. Just do 10 of them and wait a week. And you tell me if in the next couple days that page doesn't get indexed. Or think of any other way to test it. That's the way that we did it. Okay? During core updates, though, might be a bad idea because the intake might take a little bit longer. And then you'll say, oh, that didn't work. Like, wait for everything to be back to normal and then give it a try. Also, is Google auto sync to Bing when you're signing up for your Google business profile? Is it just push button sync? Does Bing and Google, or Microsoft and Google, have patent collaborations? I don't know. Does Bing search engine populate Yahoo and AOL and like 40 others? I'm not sure. I don't know if they share information or not. But what I would use, my friend, is common sense. And on top of that, I wouldn't trust what I say or what anyone else says. I would go and test it. Because that's what we do. I don't believe anybody. If I hear something or I see something, we go and we test it. So I want you to always use common sense. And the second thing is just test for yourself. Don't believe what I say. Go and try it for yourself. Or take a look at the winners and see what's being rewarded, and you'll see for yourself. All right, my friend, that's my best advice, sir. But I don't, this third one though, I don't believe that at all. Last question here is more than SEO. Thank you about the Google review plus reminder that the share URL is dynamic. Will make my adjustments or do the embed of the review as I suggest. Yeah, test it out. Also, too, I think back of this, right? Here's another thing. Remember back when Google, I share this example a lot because it meant so much to me. That's why I share it so often, because it's the blueprint. 2 things. 1, I want you to take a look at Google's blog. Okay? Google has a blog, and it pays so close attention to the details. Like everything's in the details of the site. right? I want you to take a look at that. Like, they use certain elements. The elements are in certain places. Their site-wide usage of elements are in certain places. Like, take a look at their blog. The second thing I want to point out is, remember when you had a Google business profile and you didn't have a website, they'd give you a free website, right? I want you to think back. Up at the very top was the phone number, right? With a clickable link. Then they would have two embeds on the page. One would be the map. The other one at the bottom would be a directional. But then they had another section. You would click a button and there would be an embed code at the bottom that would show the reviews. Embed reviews. Are you with me? Right? And then they would auto post to the site your updates. Right? Like, think of the elements that were there previously, and then also take a look. If you know of these old sites that are out there or in another country, take a look at it. Look at the elements. Look at the details. Also, take a look at Google's blog. Look at Microsoft's blog. Look at what the winners, and I don't mean a winner like plumber in Dallas. Like, go take a look at real winners. Big sites, winners. And see what they're doing. Follow suit. My best advice I could ever give you. All right. In any case, my name is Chris Palmer with chrispalmer.org. We have SEOmastermind.org. I need to onboard one more person. Training people is difficult. Doing SEO is easy. Training people, see, here's the two elements that I find is step number one is trust. Building rapport and having enough trust to let someone in on the way that you make your dollars, right? That's one piece. But once you find that person, the next piece is training them on process, and staying efficient and consistent. Hard. Managing personalities, very hard. Managing yourself is hard enough. But I love it. So that's what we're working on. I was hoping to be done in the very 1st of January. So to me, I'm like 5 months behind. So I'm happy though. I'm happy. One day at a time. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time. If there's anything I could ever do for you, ask in the section below. I'll be happy to do it. Right now, the service that we have mastered is fully managed Google Maps. Check out greyhatseo.com/Google Maps SEO. That's it right there. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to see how this stream does. It's been so long since I didn't use like StreamYard or like Restream or any of these services. But great things take time. They do. And too, like I was getting down, I'm in like a mastermind. It's very small, but there's a guy, I've been with him for quite some time. His name's Dan Henry. You could check him out yourself. I think he does YouTube, I'm not sure, but he has a mastermind that I've been in for some time. But he told me, I don't know if it was last week or the week before, he's like, Chris, that's where I pulled that analogy out of. He's like, dude, like, think of McDonald's. Like, look at Chick-fil-A. Look at Taco Bell. Like, do you think these guys have been around a decade? No. Decades of consistency. Stay consistent. Take your time. Because all of these hurdles and all of these troubles, that's the next guy is going through it too. Or the next woman or the next company. They're going through it too. Not everybody, like, I've already been consistent for a decade, right? Like, publicly. He's like, another decade, you'll be on your way, man. But yeah, in any case, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for your time. I love you guys. Have a great day. I hate saying goodbye. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that before. I hate goodbyes. See ya. Bye-bye.